Hey, hey, hey. Listen, y'all. I'm so excited because backstage, me and today's guests have just been loving all over each other and just having such the most wonderful conversation. And so I cannot wait for y'all to hear what we are going to be talking about today, y'all. We are going to get into the questions that change lives. Oh my God. My guest today, Sophia Casey, she is a master certified coach. We have so much in common. When we first met each other, we hugged each other like we knew each other, had been knowing each other all our lives. And so I'm so excited that she's going to be here with us today, and we will get into it right after this.
Oh my God. That's so awesome.
Sophia Casey, welcome to the
Oh
show.
my God. I'm so grateful to be here. Look, I am literally over here fangirling.
Fa- Look, same. Like when you just told me what you told me, I'm like, okay. Either
Mhm.
I'm going to be visiting a lot or.
Yes, yes, you will. You'll
Exactly.
also be a speaker at the conference in 2028, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, look, listen. Okay, okay, okay. I'm getting too
I'm
excited.
sitting here voluntoting Dr.
Mhm.
Kiki.
Listen, I'm with it. I am ready to be voluntold. Anything to be in the vicinity of you. I'm so excited. Well,
Grateful.
welcome to the Dr. Kiki Ram fam. I am so excited that you're here. We are going to be getting into something that I think is so very, very important, which is these questions that change lives. When I was thinking about like our topic and what we talk about today, I know number one, you got a book coming out, and you're also going to be a guest speaker at the Thrive 26 Women's Conference. Hey! And so take a minute and please introduce yourself to the Dr. Kiki Ram fam.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. I am Sophia Casey. I am a master certified
Hey,
coach.
tell the people what
I
that
slow
means.
down on purpose, intentionally, and unapologetically when I say master certified coach,
Yes.
like my sister in success, Dr. Kiki, because
Yep.
we know the MCC credential is the highest credential in the coaching industry. And I am not going to put that light under a bush. I'm going to
There you
shout
go.
it from the rooftops every time. I'm also so blessed to be the Chief Empowerment Officer, the CEO of ICLI Rising, our multi accredited coach training school, and
Yes.
Josh's mom.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that you shout from the rooftop that you're a master certified coach. I think that a lot of people don't really know what that means. And so for you all, I think that there are a lot of Insta coaches.
I
um,
like that.
yes, Insta coaches and fake book coaches.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
yeah, you like what I did there? And so there are a lot of that going on. And we've also seen a lot of that recently in
Yeah.
social media with people touting that they have certain credentials who don't
Mm.
have certain credentials. And so, what master certified coach means is that Sophia and I have gone through a rigorous process. We have coached over 2,500 people. I know for me, it's probably about 5,000, 6,000 at this point. I can't even imagine
Yeah,
what
I
it is
stopped
for you.
counting.
I know, me too. I stopped counting. But we have to have a minimum of 2,500 coaching clients and years just of experience to even get the certification of master certified coach through the International Coaching Federation. So, yes, ma'am, shout it from the rooftop, okay?
I'm gonna keep shouting it from the rooftops. And when we think about the Master Certified Coach credential, um, we think about there are only about 2,600 of us in the world. Only
Mm.
2,600 in the world. And
Hey.
how many look like us, Dr. Kiki?
Exactly. I bet you gonna probably say we're gonna put it down to a couple. You and me.
Us too.
Oh
Come
my
on.
God, that is hilarious. And so when I talk about the subject for today, questions that change your life, this is not just something that we came up with to sound pretty off the top of our head,
Absolutely.
right? Like you are even writing a book. But before we get into that,
Yeah.
being a positive psychologist, I
Yeah.
always want to know from my guests, what is your biggest superpower, aka your biggest strength?
Oh, that's so good. That is so good. I would say, oh my gosh, I just thought of so many, but I would say my biggest superpower is joy
Ooh.
and allowing myself to experience joy even in the midst of circumstances, and to bring joy in places and spaces that I'm in.
I love that so much because, of course, I just finished writing a book called Create
Yeah.
Your Own Happiness.
Yes.
Seven practices to cultivate happiness at work and life and in life. And I think joy and happiness is something that we all deserve, but it's not something that we all have or even know how to get.
Yes.
So,
And we often put it against and make it compete when we're going through the circumstances of life. When life is lifing,
yeah, yeah.
sometimes it was like cognitive dissonance. It's like I couldn't put them together. I would feel guilty about feeling joy. Like many, many years ago, my former husband went through major medical setbacks.
Mm.
And I had people say, well, you don't look like the picture of a grieving wife because you're out there on social media, you're dancing, you're taking your son to Disney World.
Girl, you're supposed
And
to be
like,
dead too.
I'm supposed to be laid out somewhere. And I'm like, no, that actually kept me going. So while he was there recovering in the hospital, yes, I took my son to play miniature golf. I'm like,
Mm.
both things can coexist, but for the long, I struggle, and sometimes I still struggle over it. Like, Sophia, why are you experiencing joy? You're supposed to be broke down. Do you know what country you live in? Okay, I'll leave that right there. Let's
Oh,
keep going.
oh Lord. Okay, we're gonna have to part two. Part two. Cause baby, okay, because we could definitely go there. But I'm so glad you said that because I truly believe that I have the philosophy of both and, right? Both
Yes,
and, right?
yes.
They can coexist at the same time. Two things can be true at the same time. And that's, on this show, I want that message to ring through because I think that so many of us don't actually understand that concept is that two things, even if they are two opposite things, they can still both be true at the same time. So, oh my God. Okay. So, why did you become a coach? Right? Because here's the thing, we're going to get into these questions that change lives. And of course, when it comes to being a person who can ask powerful questions, there's an
Ooh,
art to it, right? That's why we went to school for coaching. You and I both teach coaching. And people think that you can just get up and be able to ask and answer all these important questions, but there's an
uh,
art. So why did you first even go, want to become a coach?
honestly, so I was introduced to coaching and the concept of coaching. I thought that's what I was doing when I had a 9 to 5 job, and in my career, I was in enterprise-wide training and
Mhm.
HR and all that stuff. But actually, I now know that that wasn't coaching we were doing. We were mainly mentoring, which was fine.
Yep.
But sorority sister, I just noticed that something was different about her. Like I had known her for years, and I just started to notice like something had shifted about her. So one day I just asked her, I was like, "What is going on? Something's going on. I don't know if it's the weight release, or you got a new makeup artist, or something is different." And she said, "I've been working with a coach for several months, and things are shifting for me." I'm like, a coach? And she ends up introducing me to her coach, which you probably know him, Gideon.
Oh, yes.
Yes, she introduces me to Gideon. And I literally did a sample session with him and hired him on the spot.
Oh,
On the
wow.
spot. On the
Wow.
spot. And then he introduced me to coach training. I
Oh,
fell in love with
wow.
it. I fell in love with it because I just I just couldn't believe, like, even for myself as a client being coached, I just couldn't believe how much I was able to like move forward so
Mm-hmm.
quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Things that I had
Yeah.
been stalled around for years. So
Yep.
I was like, I'm addicted. I'm hooked.
Yeah, I mean, I love that because I feel like we all come to it so divinely sometimes. Like we end
Yes.
up making our way
Yes.
to being a coach. And then for those of you who are out there thinking about your second or third act, let me just say, coaching, honey, I'm just gonna plant a seed, right? Right, come on over.
Money in the
Um,
water's fine.
exactly. It's amazing over here. And I know like for me, I was a social worker and I ended up being burnout, right? Like, social work is a beautiful, noble field. And shout
Woo.
out to all my homies who are social workers because a lot of my friends are still are, and that's my background and foundation. But I just got so burnt out from the work and but I wanted to continue to use my skills
Yeah.
as a coach or as I still wanted to be able to use the skills that I've learned in social work. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna become a coach. And when I first started coaching, I didn't have coach training either, and I was like, child, I know what I'm doing. What
I don't
it
need to be
amazes
told.
me how many people think they know what they doing as a coach without coach training. Baby, I was all up in consulting and mentoring and telling people what to do. I got the whole sign boss lady over here. I was great at that, right?
Wait,
That is
is this
not
the boss
coaching.
lady?
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Right here. You got the boss lady. That's so funny. Oh my God. Hilarious. It's
We don't
I'm
have an
telling you.
issue telling people what to do.
Baby, telling them what to do, okay? I got the badge, honey, to tell people what to do. But y'all, let me just tell you, that ain't coaching, okay? And so that's why I ultimately realized I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Let me go get some coach training. And then so before I did that, I found and fell in love with positive psychology.
Oh,
And I
I
was
love
like, oh my God, oh my God. It was like the best thing that had ever happened to me. Like I felt like I was at home because I felt like positive
that.
psychology is what I've always done. And then let me couple that with coaching, child bye, you know? And so,
Yes.
but for you, you have found, these powerful questions. You found, you've been drawn to questioning. And I want to know what's the story behind that? Because I think, you know, it's just fascinating to me being in the coaching industry and we all have our lanes and the things that we love.
Oh,
So
yeah.
tell me about that.
Well, the thing is, and we both are coach educators, and, we're certainly going to train coaches on all of the coaching core competencies and the ethical standards and all that stuff. That's all so important. And, being in this work for so long, I have had tons of conversations with coaches, with leaders, with entrepreneurs who still feel very, just don't feel confident about themselves and about how they work and how they present themselves in the world. And I started to just fall in love with being curious and asking them questions rather than going into what I'm good at, which is advice giving and suggestions.
Mm.
I just got curious. I really just got curious, and I believe a lot of it comes from my love of play. Now, I mean, you know
Ooh,
this about me. I love to play, love to dance. Got
yes.
AI dancing avatars on Instagram.
I love that.
Love, love, love to play. And like play is curiosity, One of my favorite things, my favorite toys, if you will, as a child was Play-Doh. Because I could make all these different things and I could be curious about, like, well, how do I want my dinosaur to look? I don't care what you think a dinosaur looks like. I want to get curious and create my own thing. So I just fell in love with curiosity and
Mm.
exploration. And I do also believe a lot of it comes from my spiritual upbringing as well. Trusting when you don't see.
That one right there. That one
Right.
right there.
Like that literally is the same as curiosity. Like
Yep.
we are being called forth to trust something that we can't see, something that
Hmm.
is not in front of us, something that hasn't been created. So I've just been always just curious about like possibility and dwelling in possibility and what does that mean? And of course, positive psychology.
Yeah.
So, and then also I will share a colleague of mine, another coach. One day we were on a Zoom call, and I came to the Zoom call with this kind of energy, right? And she was just sitting back quiet. She just let me share.
Mm.
When I stopped talking, Dr. Kiki, she leans in and she says, "Hey, Sophia, what do you need?"
Mm, mm, mm.
Waterworks. I mean, a whole waterfall. And I
Wow.
was like touching my face, like, what is happening right now?
Wow.
She just said, "What do you need?"
Mm, mm, mm.
Shifted my life.
Shifted your life. Oh my God. You know, it reminds me of just, you know, it's so funny because I can remember, because, we teaching coaching, but also going through coach training yourself, we go
Yeah.
in and we're like, oh my God, I'm gonna save the world, I'm gonna help the world, I'm gonna do all these things, I'm gonna, what I'm saying, I'm gonna save everybody, I'm gonna help everybody, that's how we go in. But what I was not prepared for is just how much I was gonna be helped, how much, like I knew I was going to learn a new skill, I was going to do a new thing, but I wasn't prepared for how much I was going to be helped. And those questions that a good coach can ask you can evoke waterworks, like you just said, and you're like, wait a minute, what is happening? All she did was say, you know, that's it. Oh my God. So tell
Why is
me,
my face leaking? Why is my
like,
face leaking?
right, because so the question is, why do powerful, or how do powerful questions help people, especially us women, gain more clarity and self-awareness in our lives?
I believe a lot of it is that it gives us time to breathe.
Mm.
It gives us time to breathe. Like, when you have someone telling you what to do, giving you the suggestions, giving you the advice, which a lot of us want that, right? We especially a
Yes.
lot of clients who don't understand what coaching is and what coaching is not, they come to us, tell me what to do, tell me what to do. But I have just found that questions and being curious and asking people questions gives them the opportunity to take a breath and
Mm.
to process and to ponder. And from that space, it's like they own it, right? If I'm giving you advice and telling you what to do, that's really my stuff.
Yep.
And you might take the advice, you might take the suggestion, you might own it to a point. But if I ask it as a question and then you think about it and you reflect on it and you come up with your own answer, that's your answer. It's 100% yours.
Oh my God. It's so funny because you think the opposite, right? Like I know, like when I
Yes,
came into coach training, you think giving a person the answer is the way to go. Um,
absolutely.
and it makes you feel good. You come in like, I done told her the whole answer because I had the answer and everything like that. And so I'm like, I did my job. And it's like, no, you didn't. Because if you got a good teacher, they'll be like, yeah, no, you did not. Because, but what I learned is the moment a client gets a aha
Mm,
from answering their own question, the question that you ask them, but they have the answer, like that rings true. And it is so much more powerful than any answer you could ever give them.
yes, absolutely. Because it's like that discovery, that discovery, that insight that they get, like they created it. Well,
Yep.
in our world, I would say they co-created it with the divine, but
Co-created.
that's another story for another
Yeah,
time.
yeah, listen, okay, get deep.
But it's like they, and I see it all the time, and I know you see it too as you're
Hmm.
working with clients, as you're working with leaders, just by them taking in the question and pondering it and thinking about it and reflecting on it and coming up with their own answer, it's theirs.
It's theirs.
It's
Yeah,
theirs.
it's theirs. And so I want to get into just, uh, some real powerful questions that you think
Mm,
people can answer, women can answer that will change their lives. Because, I've been privy to several, coaching sessions that I felt and some of my clients have felt have changed their lives. I've been privy to coaching sessions that have changed my life as well. And so from you, you also have a book coming out as well. And so share a little bit about that, and then we're going to get into some questions that you think.
I did
Um,
and that was divine too. Like I
mm,
actually didn't even know exactly what our conversation was going to be about. I was like, look at God. So I'm so
always
grateful.
on time, honey.
Always. And so I do have a book coming out called Intention, Curiosity, and Flow, and it's a book of over 1,000 questions, powerful
Mm,
questions that you can ask your client, another 500 questions that you could ask yourself, and then a whole bunch of reflection questions that you can journal about or just be in your own space and sit with.
mm.
And I'm so grateful to God that He led me to create that book. I'm like, write a book? Where's the time on the calendar to do that?
That part.
But obedience is better than sacrifice. So
There
I'm
you
like, okay,
go.
I will do it. And it's a book that I wish I had, Kiki.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
and I came into this work, I wish
Yep.
I had this book. And so just some examples of some like powerful questions that we all can think about is one is, what do you know to be true?
Ooh, I love that question so much. Break
Woo!
it down for us, please.
What do you know to be true? And it doesn't even matter what the topic of the conversation is, to ask another person that question, but also to ask yourself, what do you know to be true? That question has been so powerful in my life
Mhm.
because, especially when, my saboteurs are running
Babe,
amok.
right here, on the
I know
shoulder.
I'm not alone. When they're running amok, even before coming here, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I ready? Am I ready? What do you know to be true, Sophia? What I know
Hmm.
to be true is God created me to be a baddie in this world. That
Hey,
I know to be true. What I also know to be true is Dr. Kiki is my sister. So
that
this is
part.
just going to be a conversation. So this
That
is what
part.
I'm telling my saboteurs because they're trying. They're trying.
Mm.
What do you know to be true, Sophia? What I know to be true is that I have been anointed to do this work. I love this work, and I'm coming on this platform to share more about the power of this work and the power of curiosity.
Mm.
So, if that's the truth, then what would you do?
Come
If
on
that's
and be a
the
baddie.
truth, you would go, show up, and do what, Kiki?
And be a baddie.
And be a
Okay.
and be ready and go
Yep.
play. That's what I know to be true. Here's another one. Ooh. I'm thinking about when I ask myself this question. What are you making this mean?
Ooh, I love this one so much. Oh my God.
All right, so some of these questions will be a soccer ball.
Oh my goodness.
What are you
Mhm.
making this mean? So that can be really supportive of all of us. Like when we're spinning, and I'm not saying that, our circumstances are not true. Your circumstances
Yeah.
are your circumstances, they are true. But when I start spinning and getting nervous and stressed out and worried and spending a
Yep.
lot of time worrying, I only need to ask that question. Like, Sophia, what are you making this mean? Or
Because
when someone said
inevitably,
something to me in a meeting that I didn't like,
that part,
what
that
are you
part,
making it mean, Sophia? What are
yeah.
you making it mean? That person don't even know you.
It is so crazy because I was just actually having a a conversation with a potential client yesterday, and she was
Yeah.
giving me some examples of some things that were going on, and she said that in the past, one woman said something to her, and she looked at her because she gave a directive, and the woman, gave what she thought was a negative response in the sense of, I'm not going to do that. Right.
Oh,
But here's the thing. She knew her. And then she was like, hold up now. What is, what does she mean? I don't know if she meant what she meant, but she had the wherewithal to go back to say, what did you mean by what you said? She's like, oh, what I meant by is I don't mind doing that. But
whoa.
the way she said it, and it was because of where she's from, made it seem in a negative, but it was actually in a positive. And had she made it mean something
Mm,
that it wasn't, there
yeah.
would have been a problem. Right. And so, but we do this every single day. Like,
Every day.
I mean, like every single day, I can be sitting here and I can get an email and I'm like, what do they mean by that? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, hold up. What they mean by that? Like, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm reading all the way into it, but I ain't had no conversation with nobody.
Yes. Yes.
And we do that all the
Absolutely.
time. Why do we do that?
And we could be all the way down the road too. We have created a whole story
Yep.
about that instance, about that person. I know I've done it many, many times.
Oh,
And it's like
listen.
you
Yes.
don't even have the facts.
You don't. But why do we do that though? Like, why as women do we actually
Yeah.
create these stories and we run with them and we don't even ever get clarity on some of them? Sometimes they just run. Why do we do that?
I believe a lot of it is that we are conditioned to do that. Like we are
Mm.
conditioned not to be inquisitive.
Hmm.
We are conditioned,
Whew.
and not just this society, most societies, to have the answer. So when we hear things, we take them as facts
Wow.
without even
Yeah.
asking questions. You don't necessarily have to ask the person a question, but sometimes we do it without even asking ourselves the question.
True that.
Like, what
And
did that mean for me? What do I think that mean? If that were truth, what would it mean for me?
true,
We don't even
right?
ask ourselves.
Dang. That's wild. First of all.
When you really think about it, it is like we
That's
don't even
wild.
trust ourselves enough to
Mm.
ask ourselves the questions.
And I think that if we did, Sophia, we would, first of all, let's start with ourselves because guess what? That's the only people we can control.
Oh,
And so if we start with ourselves, even asking ourselves, okay, what meaning making? What are, I'm making this thing mean? Even
yeah.
just the pause and ask ourselves that question. The pause to ask ourselves that question, man, like just to think about what can come out of that when we do that pause.
Yes.
I just know it's a beautiful thing that can come out of that.
Yes. And how often, excuse me, how often do we give ourselves the time to just pause, Dr. Kiki? To just pause. And we talk about it a lot in coach training is that the coach client relationship could be one of the most intimate relationships that person will ever experience because they get a chance to just take a breath and pause.
Take a beat, baby. Take a beat.
Ooh, ooh,
You know.
I had to take a breath on that and take a
No, and
pause.
it's true because when I'm coaching my students, they be going so quickly, they so ready to jump in. It be like double dutch. They be like this, wait.
Yes,
They be
yes,
waiting, and I'm like, hey, when your clients come, they want to slow down, even if
yes,
they not slow. They
yes,
want to. They want a space where they can you
yes.
cultivate that, and you can do that for them if you slow down.
Because think about where else do they have an opportunity to do that?
Most people
No.
don't, honestly. Most people
I mean,
don't.
like when I was in corporate America, when I was working for the public sector, like slow down.
Yeah.
And going to meetings and everybody's talking, right? Everybody's trying to get, their time
Yep. Yep.
out there. There wasn't a lot of opportunities that I took to pause. So when I would go to my coach and have my coaching session, I knew that whole 45 minutes, that whole hour was all about me. And then I could take a breath and have it be just all about me. And I think, historically as women, oftentimes we wear so many titles and
Yep.
we're doing so much caregiving that we don't take those opportunities to pause.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I hadn't thought about saying this, but I just got a divine download. Here we go.
Come on.
I'm thinking about in romantic relationships. My God. In
Ooh.
romantic relationships, how could your relationship shift if you started asking more questions of your partner? Right? Rather than saying things, giving advice, making suggestions. Like when they come in the house from a long day at work and you just get curious about what's going on for them over there.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's
Imagine.
listen, you about to be up here saving relationships and marriages and giving
Let me go download this replay and send it to
okay.
all my exes.
Please, honey. You about to they're gonna be like, well, okay. Well, we okay. I love it. No, it's true because I notice like when I assume something about my husband Jamil, I may say something and then he's funny. He'd be like, you always do that. You just assume that you know the
Yeah.
answer. And so even with him, I'm using my skills to get better and say, babe, do you like such and such? Because in my mind, I
Yes.
don't know. I just be thinking different. Like I have his answer in my mind, but that's not always the answer. And so these questions are so very important in every aspect. It's not just your professional life. It is absolutely your intimate life that we're talking about here.
Yes.
So tell me, okay, we got two questions. Oh, look at the time. Lord have mercy. Okay, give me one more powerful question that, our women can and really answer or for themselves. So
Mm.
we got two. What do you know to be true, right? And what are you making this mean?
Yes. Okay. Another one I would offer is, what am I not seeing?
Ooh, girl, break it down.
What am I not seeing? Because oftentimes when we find ourselves in the shenanigans of life, a lot of times we're in denial. Well, I know I'm talking to a former social worker here.
Okay.
I'm talking to a positive psychologist. But a lot of times it is because we are avoiding something. So I would just ask myself, like, what am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? Because we know the answers. Like, and if you can't be truthful to others, at least be truthful with yourself. So what am I not seeing?
This is so funny because I was I was teaching class last night. And I was we're on the second to last class and I'm still teaching my students how to set the agenda. Child, listen.
Yeah.
Okay, for
Yeah.
all of y'all who are not coaches, setting the
They're like, what is
agenda.
that?
Like, what's that? Meaning, I'm teaching my students how to make sure that they help the client set the goal for the conversation. Because when you come to coaching, you bring a problem, and we as coaches, our job is help you to get from A to where you want to be. You like what I did there?
I saw that.
Um, and so I was teaching them that. So I brought, a problem and everything. And so like I've been really just thinking about how I'm raising my kids. I have three kids in total, but two are littles. Um,
You got
and
two.
so two are
Yeah.
littles, one is
Yeah.
big. And so the littles are the ones who are like, in the house under my tutelage. And I'm just trying to, raise them with the right values. And this whole thing about social media and technology in general is so super big, right? And so, but it's not just big for me, it's big for pretty much all of us parents trying to figure out how we
Yeah.
raise our kids properly in a world where we're so connected to social media. And so in church, they just released a tool. It's kind of like a online conference with a lot of videos on how to raise your kids around social media. And I was like, okay, this is dope. This is right on time. And one of our pastors, they just told their story, not to make anybody feel mad, but or feel inadequate. They just decided that their kids were not going to have social media when they were growing up, and they actually didn't know when they were going to get social media. And of course, at those young ages, they didn't understand that, and they fought against it and stuff like that until his daughter wrote her kind of, I guess, like college essay or an essay about it. And she talked about how she thought she was missing out on everything. But in fact, she realized that she was protected from feeling inadequate and looking at everybody and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Right. So I come home. And I think this is like the next day or whatever. I go into my daughter's room and she's under the covers. And I'm like, hey. And she jumped. You already know she doing something wrong. And I said, what you doing? What you watching? And she was like, YouTube. And like the waterworks come crashing down, right? And and I'm like, what you crying for? Because I was being disobedient. So she knows, right? She
You know.
knows. She knows, right? And so I'm like, okay, I need some coaching. And so I had my students coach me to set the agenda around, like, me wanting to find ways or strategies to protect my kids against social media. And one of the things that came out of that session was that, because one of my students asked me, what is it that I'm missing? Is there
See?
anything that I'm
Yes.
missing in this
Mhm.
scenario? And I was like, girl, okay, you get an A. You get an A. And I said, you know what?
You get an A.
You get an A. I said, you know what? Now that come to think about it, and my daughter's not the other one because my son Walter, so Mackenzie and Walter, and then my oldest is Tamazier. But Walter's gotten caught several times. And it and it
Oh,
and it dawned on me, and it's always been the same scenario. They're in a space, a corner, on the couch in their room, covers over their head. See, they don't know that. They don't know it. That's a telltale sign, but
yeah.
but covers over covers over their head with no parental guidance in the moment when they're doing this. So I'm
Yeah.
like, aha, I
Ooh,
might, in order for them to even be on their iPads, anything other than something that is strictly approved, I need to be in the room.
yeah.
Girl,
And you may not have gotten that awareness, that
look,
discovery without that question.
I've been thinking about this. I am not a new mom. Like Mackenzie is 9, Walter's 7. So I'm not a new mom, and so I had not thought about why is this keep happening. It keeps happening because neither myself or Jamil are present in the room when they're on these devices.
So that was missing from the conversation. Okay, yeah, that coach, you get an A. You get an
She
A.
get an A. She get an A.
What am I missing?
What am I missing? What am I not seeing? And this is why we're talking about these questions, because these are life-changing questions. Like if I like think about now how I can operate, put me and Jamil can put certain, boundaries and barriers in place
That
now
part.
because we know that it's easier for them to be disobedient or get on and watch something that they're not supposed to watch because we're not present in the room.
And from that one question, look what you got from that one question.
From that one question. Like I just
That one question.
it just changed the way that that I see things, and it also gives me a greater sense of control, right? And I mean, people always will may say you're gonna always be in the room, and you're gonna always maybe
No, no, I'm not. Actually, I don't want to be.
but at least right now I can start to figure out parameters and boundaries and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Like
So yeah,
from that one question,
one
then you
question.
were able to create some actions and commitments that you and your husband will take on to have it go differently.
Have it go differently.
From a question. Now, that coach could have, if she hadn't been in your great coach training program, she could have told you, she could have given you some advice and some
Yep.
suggestions. Well, I'm a parent too, and let me tell you what I did.
Hmm.
Then you wouldn't own it.
I wouldn't own it. I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't
own it.
fully own it, I should say.
Yeah, I wouldn't fully own it because what people don't understand is that you get the biggest insights from questions that you answer for yourself. There's nothing that I can tell you
That is
that
that.
is going to change your life. It's interesting because my husband, he used to tell me all kind of things. He's a very wise man. Shout out to Jamil. Hey, babe.
I
Um,
believe.
and so he used to tell me all kind of things. And I'd be like, okay, yeah. But I only really got what he was saying when I felt like I came up with it or I was asked a question or I was,
Yes.
that's the only reason. And he would say, I already told you that. It don't matter. It don't matter, boo. It don't matter. It don't
Like,
matter.
look, like when our kids do it, or they go hang out with their aunts and uncles, and then they come back and say, "Oh my gosh, Auntie gave me this great idea," and I'm like, "I told you that 2 years ago."
10,000 times.
Auntie probably asked questions, engaged them in a different way, so that they owned it.
That it resonated with them.
I'm telling
Oh
you.
my God. Okay. This has been
So we just
so.
wrapped up masterful coaching for y'all, okay? But y'all still need to go through the training. Still go.
Yes, y'all still need to go through the training. And so, y'all got these three amazing questions that will change your life.
Ooh,
Compliments of Sophia Casey. You know what? I really want to say Dr. Sophia Casey. I
you
don't
know,
know.
I have been called that my entire coaching
I really want to
career.
say that.
And I'll chat with you about this when I'm there with you at Thrive 2026. But
Yes.
that is coming down the pike.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
I declare, but obedience is better than what?
There you
Sacrifice.
go. There you go. So you are going to be speaking at the Thrive 26 Women's Conference. You're going to be dropping some jewels during our high earning coach intensive on Friday. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say. What do you hope to bring to the conference this year?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you again. Thank you for being a yes to having me there. I'm looking forward to being in the room with these powerful leaders. You know, I relate to everybody as a leader of their life. So I'm really
Hmm.
looking forward to it. And, my intention, because I always like to think about like, what's my intention? Because I feel like if we give some time and ponder about like what's my intention of coming into this space with these people, what's my intention in coming into this room, then we can have a powerful impact because we're clear about why we're there. And for me, it's really about having people walk away with, even if it's just an ounce, but increased confidence that they already have what it is that they need to have the desires of their life. Like they already have the infrastructure, they have the foundation, they have the framework because they have them. That
Yeah.
they already have it. It's not something that they have to create. It's not somebody that they have to become. Like they already have it.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what
I
I hope.
love that. Oh my gosh. And that's a core tenet of coaching,
Yes,
right? Is a
yes,
core tenet of coaching, and that's a
yes.
belief, but it's also a belief that I think we all can stand to live by, is that we already have it. And we just sometimes need help pulling it out and putting it out there.
Yes, and trusting ourselves, right? I have one more powerful question that just came on my heart that I definitely want to share, and that
Okay.
is, as you're thinking about, I don't know who this is for. I know it's for me. It's always for me too, but I don't know who else
Well,
is.
I know it's about to be for me.
But it's like what I'm getting is when you're thinking about making decisions or before you say yes to something or say no to something or you're wishy-washy and say maybe to something, ask yourself, does this align with the life that I desire?
Mm.
So that could be the life that I desire, like right now, that's the life that I desire in the future. Does this align
Mm.
with the life that I desire?
Yeah,
Like, that's such a short question, right?
it is, but it's powerful though.
But it's powerful because
It's
that'll
powerful.
help me make a decision. That'll help me get
Yeah,
to my yes,
yeah,
no, maybe, not ever,
yeah,
never.
yeah. No, I really do think I love that question, and thank you for being led to even share it because I think that if more of us, especially us women, ask this question right here, we wouldn't be so overloaded. We wouldn't be so stressed out. We wouldn't be so burnt out.
Yes.
Because a lot of us really, really are in this moment. And a lot of us are tired
Tired,
and I
exhausted.
mean, just exhausted mentally, emotionally, physically. We just, ah, we just tired. But we say yes to a lot of things in life without asking this question. And I know for a fact, if I stopped, there go the pause again, and I asked myself this question before I made major decisions in my life,
Yes.
baby,
Yes.
I would make some different choices.
Absolutely. And
You know?
the thing is, a lot of times we relate to saying no as mean.
Mm-hmm. We
One of
do.
my favorite quotes is one of my favorite quotes by Brene Brown is, she says, clear is kind. So
Yeah.
I just want to encourage everybody to just remind themselves of that. When you are being clear
Mm-hmm.
in your answer and your yes, your no, your never, when you are
That part.
being clear, you're being kind. That is literally like giving someone a gift.
Yeah, I
So
love
just be
that.
clear. Just be
Oh,
clear. Ooh, I'm
I
taking that.
love it. Woo, child. Okay, okay. So you're going to be at Thrive 26 this year. So you all want to be under the sound of Sophia Casey's voice. Please join us for Thrive 26. You can get all the details on drkiki.com and go to the link that says Thrive 26. And before we go, tell people what else is going on with you, how, when the book might be coming out, how they can get in touch with you outside of Thrive 26 if they are looking for you.
Yeah, so my book of over 1,000 powerful questions. Again, it's called Intention, Curiosity, and Flow. Hello.
Hey, hey.
So I am declaring that this book will debut on Juneteenth.
Oh, girl. Okay.
That's our next episode.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
On
Okay, y'all. Y'all
Juneteenth.
heard it. Y'all heard it here first, exclusively on the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show.
Oh, now they're gonna hold me accountable.
Yes, they are.
My declaration. That is my declaration, and then you can find me on all socials, Sophia Casey, and then of course my speaking website is sophiacaseyspeaks.com.
Amen. Amen. Oh my God. Thank you so much, friend, for
I'm
being
so grateful.
on the show. Like, I
This is
know that
such
this is
a full circle moment. I have to say this.
okay.
I stalked Dr. Kiki forever. And before I got my master certified coach credential, I saw you. You came, the algorithms were working that day, and you came up in my LinkedIn.
Hmm.
And I didn't know another Black woman MCC.
Really?
No. So when I saw you, I was like, what? And I started stalking you from that day forward. And then to go to the and speak at the ICF Georgia
Yep.
coaching day, and to meet you in person was like I told you, I was like, I feel like I'm
Oh
meeting
my gosh.
celebrity.
Look,
I am so grateful to know you. You inspire me. You didn't even know you were doing that.
I didn't. Dude, girl, you got me on here crying. Don't.
You're the first one. First one.
Ugh. No, I just, oh my gosh. Thank you for telling me that. I think the thing, I'm so grateful to you, to know you. And you don't know this, but I hadn't seen you maybe
Yeah.
once or twice on like LinkedIn, but like when I met you at the Coach Day, I was like, oh my God, she's so amazing. And I was like, wait, what am I doing with my life? Like, no, no, seriously. Like, do you see how we do things? And I'm like,
Yes, I do.
this girl is got all the things. She's the bomb. I'm a slacker. Like, what am
How
I doing?
funny is that? And I'm stalking you and
I
being
was like,
inspired by you.
and but this is how, but I was like, I got to meet her. I got to know her. And then when we met and you were like how you were, and I was like how I was like, girl, this is okay, okay, cut it out.
And people at the conference was like, you all really didn't know each other until now.
We were like, no, we did not. We've never met each other. And
Yeah.
but it was love at first
So
sight.
much love. So
Oh my gosh. And so, yeah, so for me, this is also just a beautiful full circle moment that we get to be two amazing master certified coaches out here teaching people how to be amazing coaches and dropping all these gems and teaching people how to build successful coaching businesses. Because, like I said, in the age of Insta and Facebook coaches, it is a lot. Like,
I'm so taking those.
you it's so I
Yeah.
and here's the thing. I think this is why I'm so big on certification and everything is because I've gotten taken, this is a whole nother episode and we gonna end, but I've gotten taken for so much money from
Oh yeah.
people
Yeah.
on the intranet
Yes.
that tout that they can help you,
Yeah.
and they can't, and all they are about is a money grab. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I vowed that I would never ever be that way, but I tend to think that people who spend money and invest in themselves that actually understand what coaching is, they understand that we abide by a code of ethics, and they don't do that.
Come on. It is a difference. And once you've experienced a coach who has actually gotten real solid coach training,
Yep.
it's night and day.
It's
It
not
is
a name.
night and day. Oh, I know you get asked this all the time. Oh my God, how is it that you're a successful coach and you just get clients so easily and all of that? It is because I know I don't have to be an expert of their lives.
That listen,
I
that
couldn't
part.
possibly be an expert in all those different
You
areas
can't.
that they are experts in. I have no desire. Look, and most of my executive clients are IT executives. I know how to turn on my computer and turn it off, and I know how to come on this platform because you had a link. So, what would I look like trying to be an expert on cloud computing and servers
That.
and mainframes?
Oh,
I don't
girl.
have to do any of that.
None of it. None of it.
I just have to
None
be
of
an
it.
expert at coaching.
That
Hey,
part. Hey, okay, I can't wait. You about to be dropping some
we're
jewels.
gonna have so much fun.
So much fun. It's going to be so fun. So, y'all, listen, if you want to be in the room, if you are tired of wasting money
Woo.
on, just people who are not going to teach you the true way to coach or how to make money coaching, then come to Thrive 26. Come to the High Earning Coaching Intensive. It is on Friday, July the 10th. You can get your registration at drkiki.com.
Yes.
And thank you so much, friend. Thank you so
I'm
much
so
for
grateful. And I just have
yeah.
to say, I'm so excited about Thrive 2026 also, because I get to see another coach that I have stalked and I just love.
Woo!
And that's Doctor. I can say doctor now, Karma.
Yes,
Hi,
listen.
Dr.
Dr. Karma, y'all shout out. Dr. Karma is actually the president of ICF Georgia
She
right
is.
now, and she's gotten her PhD. And
That's
I was
amazing.
actually I was actually blessed to be on her committee.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
Help her cross the road.
yeah, listen, I helped her cross the road, but the work was all hers though.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. So yes, Dr. Karma Hill will be at the conference as well, speaking, and
I
so you
can't wait.
all definitely want to get your tickets. Any final words?
Trust yourself. Trust the process.
Trust yourself, trust the process. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Y'all heard it here, Dr. Sophia Casey. As I always say, you have the ability to create your own happiness. So go out there and get you some. Until next time, share this with somebody who you care about. Share this with somebody who you might not even care about, but who need to get their life. And like and subscribe to the podcast. You can get this podcast on all of your podcast stations, Apple, Spotify, all of that, and of course, YouTube. Love you all. Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you,
Peace.
Dr. Kiki. See you soon.